Residents in Austin, Texas are on high alert as staff shortages leave 911 callers on hold and police officers continue to quit, all while crime continues to rise. The growing problem comes after a $150 million budget cut in 2020. The Austin Police Association president says they just don't have the resources to do the job, noting the city should have more than 2,000 officers. Instead, they have less than 1,500. Now this as crime continues to surge in Texas's capital. A new study found Austin is the city with the 15th largest homicide rate and was the third Texas city to make the list. All of this as Austin's police chief announced this week he is retiring after 25 years with the department and 2 years as its leader. Joining us now to discuss is former deputy commissioner of the Baltimore Police Department and current president of the Law Enforcement Legal Defense Fund, Jason Johnson. Jason, thank you for your time today. Such an important topic. What is happening in Austin? Is this something that we're seeing in departments across America?
We are, in fact, since 2020, since the death of George Floyd, we've seen a mass exodus in law enforcement agencies across the country. According to the Police Executive Research Forum, immediately in the aftermath of the George Floyd case, we saw resignations increase almost 50%, up 43%, and retirements up about a quarter, 24%. And so this is really entirely related to the professional esteem that law enforcement officers historically have had. They've been proud of the work that they do. Vast majority of police officers do a very good and honorable job in service to their communities. And we've just seen a sea change there. And it's very, very difficult to get young men and women to sign up for law enforcement agencies at this time in our history.
You know, we've been reporting on the challenges officers face on a day-to-day basis. What do you believe are the biggest factors behind the police shortage and recruiting struggles, as you outlined?
Well, I mean, in terms of recruiting, I think that young people now have, we're in a situation where there's very low unemployment. There's lots of opportunities out there for them to pursue. And the way that the police profession has been portrayed widely in the media and in social media and in social circles that young people run in, it's not an attractive profession. And I think that the perception of young people is that police officers are racist and brutal, and it's not something they want to be a part of. But the reality is much different than the perception. And I think really what needs to happen is we need to bring the reality and the perception much closer to one another by really representing law enforcement the way that my experience tells me the law enforcement community is, and how it does help the communities they serve. And it's a proud profession with a proud tradition and a bright future.
Well, there will inevitably be consequences for all of us, possibly delayed a bit. What are your concerns if things don't change? We know one small police department in Minnesota completely resigned, leaving residents without a department. Is that a sign of what may be to come?
Well, I think the Minnesota case that you point to is a situation where perhaps salary and compensation and benefits did play an outsized role in the decision of these officers to seek employment elsewhere. But I think in most cases, and certainly in Austin and in Baltimore and in the District of Columbia and in New York and LA and San Francisco and Minneapolis and so many cities across America, it has nothing to do with salary compensation. It has everything to do, again, with the loss of professional esteem, the feeling among the rank and file law enforcement officer that the community does not support them, that they're not portrayed in a way that they want to be portrayed, and that they think that they view the reality of their day-to-day life and work. And that's driving people out. And that is the singular deciding factor for law enforcement officers who are leaving the profession today, is simply that the perception of their work doesn't square with their own experience, and they want to pursue work in another field. Police officers, it used to be a profession that was really very competitive. I remember applying to become a police officer. It was a very competitive process, involved physical agility testing, written testing, polygraph examinations, and the like, to make sure that only the best and the brightest were hired. And we're in a place now where that's not so much the case. Standards have been reduced in order to be able to continue to recruit somewhere close to the number of officers that are needed. And so I think we're actually seeing a situation where certain activists have pushed against law enforcement for reasons that they feel are justified. But the result is that the number and the caliber of men and women, by and large, who are entering the profession aren't the same as they were 5 or 10 years ago. And there's going to be a price to be paid, I'm afraid.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.